the more you're desperate for something, the more you end up pushing that thing away from you. There's this thing that happens when we want something very badly, which is that we go from wanting something to needing something. And the thing about that transition is that we end up putting ourselves in a mental state where our survival depends on that one thing we want so bad. And when your brain enters that state, it begins to panic. You overthink every move, you second guess every decision, and you just end up trying to control things that were never in your control from the first place. And the cruel irony is, the more you grip, the more it slips. You can think about it like dating, for example. You ever notice just how when someone is too eager, way too available, way too desperate for things to work, it just makes the other person pull back? That exact same desperation works with everything else. Business, money, relationships, anything in your life where you give so much desperation energy into, you end up repelling that thing. And I'm telling you this not because I read this somewhere in a book or that I watched a video about it. I got to experience this firsthand. Back in 2022, when I moved in with my mom with no degree or experience, my dad went to jail, so I had to figure out my own path in life. I needed a way to make money because I didn't have a clear future ahead of me, and I knew that if I didn't make any money, I would be out and about in the streets. So as a way for me to make money for myself, I decided to start a business with the hopes that eventually I end up making good money from it. And I thought that I would be able to make that business work within 3 months or so, but that wasn't the case at all. It took me 6 months for me to find any kind of results. You see, for 6 months, I would show up every day, putting in the hours, putting in the work, and I wasn't able to find any kind of progress, not even the tiniest bit amount of progress. And what that did to me mentally is that I eventually ended up achieving a state where I was like, okay, I cannot achieve anything in life. I'm a failure. This is never gonna work out. This is just a dream. Only a lucky few get to experience that kind of thing. For me, this will not happen. But I said to myself, I'm gonna try one more time. But this time, I'm done carrying the weight. I'm done being desperate. I'm done overworking myself. And I went to my window, opened up the windows, and I looked up in the sky and I said, God, the outcome is yours. This is my last faith I have in this entire thing. I'm just going to do my part, take action every day for the next 30 days, and I will let you take care of the rest. I stopped trying to force it. I stopped trying to predict it. I just did exactly what I told myself I was going to do, take action every single day for the next 30 days. And I swear to God, that's when I ended up signing my first ever client for that business. And I'm telling you this not because I want you to think that this is magic or a coincidence. I'm telling you this because to show you what happens when you shift from wanting and needing and being so desperate to just letting go from predicting and trying to force everything to work out your way. When I stopped making decisions out of fear, I began to think clearly. I was at peace with myself. And for some reason, I felt more hopeful than ever. Like I had so much faith that maybe this time things will work out because I'm not trying so hard. And because I was taking action every single day from that state of being, I was able to finally achieve what I wanted to experience. So if you have a goal that you want to achieve, whether it be being an author, being an actress, being an actor, whatever it is that you want to be, have that goal in mind, but be so detached from the idea that this goal will only be achieved only through one certain outcome. This is not how you should go through life. You don't need to be able to see the whole staircase. You just need to see the next step. One step today and one clear-headed action that moves you forward today is enough for you to eventually achieve what you want. But what matters most is you detaching from the outcome and telling yourself, I'm going to only depend on God to fulfill on that outcome. Because the outcome is not your job for you to control. Your job is to take action, to do the work. You may not have everything figured out. You may just be throwing as many darts against the wall as you can at the moment. That's fine. You taking action every day, even if it's unstructured or unplanned, is enough for you to eventually achieve what you've always wanted to achieve. But as I mentioned, what matters most with everything that you do every day is to always be mindful and always have in mind that it's only God that will help you achieve what you want. Because the moment you take that power out of you and you give it to a being that's much higher than you, I promise you, you will find yourself flowing with the current instead of fighting against it. So never be too disappointed when things don't work out your way. Instead, remind yourself every day that what I want is my ultimate destiny because it gives me excitement, it gives me joy. And I know every day by me taking action, I will eventually end up experiencing what I've always wanted to experience, regardless of the amount of obstacles I face every day or how many times life comes and punches me in the face.